The Madlanga Commission may be on recess, but its former chief evidence leader, Terumudao, was on a media blitz explaining why he walked away from the inquiry. And key witness Dumisani Khumalo fell ill on Wednesday, cutting short testimony we were hoping would unpack WhatsApp messages he shared that were between Brown Mokhotsi and Vusmuzi Kat Matlala. And as tributes continue to pour in for South African ambassador to France, Nathi Mthethwa, so too are questions around his death. The South African Police Service confirming that a team of investigators is now making its way to France. We'll have an update from Paris in a moment, as well as from the South African Police Service's Athlenda Mate. And while a voiceless President Cyril Ramaphosa couldn't take questions on the global Samud flotilla, South Africa's voice has not been missing in calls for Israel to release those being held captive. Plus, EFF leader Julius Malema is staring down at a possibly bleak festive season after being found guilty of breaching multiple provisions of the Firearms Control Act. I'm Ziyanda Ngcobo, and this is your weekly wrap of the big political stories. Now, the Madlanga Commission is on recess until the 13th of October to allow for one of the commissioners, Sesi Baloy SC, to attend to her work related to the Judicial Services Commission. On Wednesday, proceedings did not go ahead due to the ill health of Crime Intelligence Boss Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo, who left the precinct at 3 minutes after 9 a.m. on that day. Khumalo had been giving testimony about attempts to abuse IPID processes, how criminal bosses plotted the disbandment of the political killings task team, and it seems that Brown Mokhotsi might be a political swindler who solicits money on the basis of proximity to Senzo Mchunu. But before getting into the nature of WhatsApp messages between Vusmuzi Kat Matlala and Mokhotsi, Khumalo told us about his illustrious career in the South African Police Service and the existence of a Big Five cartel, which has spread its tentacles nationwide.
The Big Five has already penetrated the political sphere, and there are documented cases of high-profile connections in the political arena, senior politicians alleged to be complicit and or willfully blind to the syndicate operations. On
General, you say it's one of their hallmark features that they have penetrated the political sphere. Is this unique to the Big Five? This penetration into the political spheres?
It is a normal characteristic of a cartel, but then this cartel being under investigation, there are already documented cases that are talking to that.
On Tuesday, it was then time to get into the evidence everyone had been waiting for. How exactly this cartel had infiltrated the political landscape. At the center of it all, one Vusmuzi Kat Matlala and Brown Mokhotsi, a man who's come to be known as a close associate of Senzo Mchunu.
The themes that we'll use for this briefing will be those charts that are talking to the IPID, the use of IPID. The second one will be the one talking to the payments for politicians. The third one will be looking at the charts related to the tender protection. And the fourth one will be the charts talking to the disbandment of the political killings task team. And the fifth one will be the links to the senior crime intelligence and South African Police Service members. And then the sixth one will be talking to the access to the minister.
But the contents of WhatsApp messages between Mokgotsi and Matlala and purportedly Senzo Mchunu himself paint a picture of the movement of money in order to pay for things like ANC conferences and the travel and accommodation linked to that. Now, money moved from Matlala through a travel agency called Khotle, which then was transferred directly into Mokgotsi's bank account. Then there were discussions about how to frame the political killings task team, who were part of an operation that apprehended Matlala in mid-December 2024. This was to be done through manipulating the processes of police watchdog IPID.
The discussion to us suggests that Mr. Vusimuzi Matlala and Brown Mokgotsi had a discussion on the involvement of IPID to intervene after the operation by the team on the 18th and 19th, but we can also include the 6th of December because the encounter with Mr. Vusimuzi Matlala and the team, or encounters, started from the 6th of December. Furthermore, the manipulation of IPID process comes out, or possible manipulation, as we read the responses of how IPID could not effect arrest, our interpretation, or open a case in the absence of the complainants as well as the J88. So the interpretation is an attempt to manipulate IPID processes for the benefit of Kat Matlala, including the private discussion around how to make this case valid.
Now, the two went further when Mokgotsi, who Khumalo claims had undue access to classified information, confirmed the disbandment of the PKTT to Matlala just a day after the letter of the 31st of December was sent by Mchunu.
At 22:38, same day, 1st of January 2025, the message reads, "The task team that came to your house and harassed you has been dissolved, / disbanded." Then on the 2nd of the following day now, of January, the first communication between the two is at 7:12 in the morning, where Dlamini is then responding to the message of the previous night with a message, "Oh, really?" followed by another message a minute after that, "I see you tried calling me last night." And then the next message at 7:14, another minute later, the question, "When is this happening?" Then the response is at 8:58 from Mr. Mokgotsi responding to Mr. Matlala, indicated on the message, "They got the letter on Monday. As we speak, they are bringing all the dockets to Sibiya."
However, the dynamic between Matlala and Mokgotsi changed after Mchunu ordered the 360 million rand Medicare tender in the SABS to be investigated 4 days after News 24 reported that Matlala was also linked to the Tembisa hospital looting. Now, Matlala had been red flagged by the late whistleblower Babita Deokaran.
The message reads thus: "Good morning, Minister. I just received a call from our guy, who is a service provider for our health risk management project. He has got very serious concerns. Apparently, you gave a directive to scrutinize his contract, and while they at it, they must stall as much as they can to release purchase orders until you guys come up with something that can warrant termination of service.
So the tender award was eventually revoked, much to the ire of Matlala, who seemed fed up with the lack of return on investment. And it's here that we get a picture of how the two friends turned to foes and how that emerged.
Now it's on the 14th morning, just to let you know that my contract was cancelled. It was cancelled yesterday, and I see you have been ignoring me and promising me things that never happened. Luckily, took screenshots of every conversation just in case something like this might happen. I'm taking all this to the media and some to court on Friday. Mr. Matlala is responding to the message sent, a short message sent by Mr. Mkhotsi with a very long message which reads, this relationship should not be one-sided, brother. I asked you several favors which are not even money related, but none of them have been attended to. The last one, it's even worse because it's even orchestrated from your camp and nothing has been done about it.
Meanwhile, on Thursday, ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula was at pains to distance his organization from Mkhotsi and those whom he says abuse the party's name for nefarious ends. Now, the following day, Mbalula confirmed that Mkhotsi's membership had expired and he had ceased to be a member of the African National Congress.
The ANC as a party will never be on the side of corruption and corrupt elements. These individuals who are mentioned have got nothing to do with the ANC. They are beneficiaries in the system that we have defined in the public service for all our people to benefit. But crooks and criminals have actually undermined the system and to a certain extent, in certain instances, aided by people in high offices.
Okay.
So in that regard, where such has happened to people who are deployed by us directly, we will act, and we have acted in that instance. And the rule of law must prevail.
Meanwhile, on Friday, the South African Police Service would not be drawn on details surrounding Dumisani Khumalo's health. This comes after proceedings had to be adjourned on Wednesday due to him falling ill. He left the Bridget Mabandla Justice College just after 9 a.m.
So the National Commissioner has been in close contact with the Divisional Commissioner for Crime Intelligence, Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo, who is receiving medical care. We can confirm that he is recovering well and he is in good spirits, and I won't be able to divulge much more information because his health is a security risk. Well, he is taking advice from his physician. So we will depend on the medical experts to inform us when he is able to continue with his testimony and when he's fit to get back to work.